A new year.
Three guys and a bear in the playoffs.
We're
And here's
trying to
Coach.
win a game. What's up, everybody? It's time for our favorite time of the year.
The time when most of us no longer have any skin in the race.
Exactly.
Playoffs? The time where the games that we watch finally become relevant again.
Well, maybe not wild card.
Some of
weekend.
them.
Yeah, some of them.
One of the conferences.
Yeah, one of the conferences.
The time
when coaches get fired.
Yeah.
We got a lot of that.
Yep.
So here we are. We've already got our coach firings flooding in. First one was Gerod Mayo, who got fired literally like 2 hours after their game finished.
They didn't barely finish the press conference.
Yeah.
And he got fired.
Do you guys think that he got fired because they won and they fucked their draft position? Like, was that the straw that broke the camel's back?
I doubt it.
I think he was he knew he was going to get fired and he wanted to win to screw them
That
over.
makes more sense.
That lines up more. I feel like I'm starting to believe this like a conspiracy theory that he was brought in to lose and just
be a fall guy.
To be a tank commander. Yeah. I think that was his whole purpose. And,
that makes sense too.
And now they're like, okay, we have a good quarterback. Let's bring in a good coach to train our good quarterback and all that.
Well, but then, like, if that's the case, then, like, why Vrabel now? Like, that, it seems like that sort of lineage should have already been established. And then, like, why do you, let Vrabel take the blow for the first year? Why not?
Probably nepotism.
Well, the whole thing is nepotism. But it's just like, if that was already the plan to begin with, I don't even see the need for Mayo in that case.
Yeah, I don't really know why they did what they did, but
well, remember the press that they were releasing about Gerod Mayo was that he was a planned successor, right? That was the whole thing. They were working this out for years, and he had a season, a year. You know,
maybe they just thought he was going to be better than what he was. Maybe he was a really motivational guy. Maybe they're like, yeah, this guy seems really good. He's going to get the guys fired up. And then they're like, oh, he can't coach.
He's like me. He can get the job, but once he gets the job, he doesn't know how to do the job.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it probably became clear to them like halfway through the season or something. And they're like, all right, yeah, this is not going to work. And so they're just like, Vrabel. We know him.
Yeah.
Let's bring him back.
I mean, to Apollo's point though, like I do think that they do that to coaches where they hire them only on the basis of being a tank commander.
For
sure. A crew,
that does happen.
Stuff. Yeah. Which is fucked up, especially if they're not, letting the guy in on it.
Yeah.
Well, if you paid me to lose football games, I'd do it.
I mean,
I could probably handle that.
Do that.
Yeah. But it would also be kind of shitty if it were like, they were bringing you in to lose, which will hurt your future job prospects, and they're not going to tell you about it.
That's when you paid you a lot of money.
Right, true.
The other coach firing was Doug Peterson. That's it. I thought he'd get fired months ago, but they waited.
They were just. I guess that was a half-season tank commander. Like he was supposed to win, and they were like, "Okay, you can just lose the rest of the season, I guess." It's like, go ahead.
I mean, I feel like Doug Peterson's he's like the kind of guy where he can get things right a bit. Like he almost feels like the opposite of Mayo, where like he's a good 1-2 year coach, where he's like, "Hey, let's build a nice culture and everything," but then they can't really go any further than that, and then that kind of becomes toxic in a way because everyone's like, well, this isn't working, we're not winning, and then everyone just kind of quits.
Supposedly the story behind Jacksonville that's more interesting is the general manager, Trent Balky.
Yep.
What's his name?
Yeah, Trent Balky.
he supposedly is just like notoriously the worst general manager and yet still got jobs and is just like horrendous in every way.
Yes.
And they're not firing him. And people are like, they're beginning to be like, is he just like the world's best con man ever of all time? Like, it's starting to switch to respect. Like, people are like, I hate him, but like, he's got to be doing something right to get hired still. Like, maybe he knows something we don't.
Maybe he's got the inside scoop on the owner.
Well, maybe
he worked for some unbelievable organizations such as the Scout for the New York Jets from 1998 to 2000.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He was with Washington from 2001 to 2004 as a scout. And then he was the 49ers scout, player personnel, and then general manager from 2011 to 2016, which I think were some of their worst years.
The Harbaugh years, or was that after Harbaugh?
I think it was post Harbaugh.
49ers 2011 was
or pre Harbaugh.
Harbaugh was 2011, and then 20. Okay, it was Harbaugh.
The Harbaugh years.
I think, from what I remember, they didn't get along, or like there was something there where people were like they didn't like him. And I think Harbaugh might have left because of him as well. It was one of those types of things where it was like clearly not going great. And then I think his final season, they did really terribly. Oh, yeah. After a 2014 season filled with reports that Balk and 49ers coach Jim Harbaugh had been clashing, they parted ways with Harbaugh.
So he was so bad that Harbaugh quit.
Yes.
That's annoying. Yeah,
yep.
that must be.
So
well, I mean, they looked into Mike Shanahan at least, I guess.
That's true. And the funny part is that everyone was like, "Oh my god, why are we keeping this guy?" But then the owner, Shad Khan, who literally looks like an oil baron, like billionaire guy, who cares more about his soccer team than he does the Jaguars, was on a call with Trent Baalke, and he was like, yeah, if, like someone like Ben Johnson wants me to bring in a new general manager, like I'd do that. Like literally right in front of him.
Well, there was a report too that like, I think the only reason he said that is because Ben Johnson, well, no, it wasn't Ben Johnson, but it was a unnamed high tier potential coaching candidate, AKA Ben Johnson, who said he would not go to Jacksonville if Trent Baalke was still the general manager.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like, and then Khan just says right in front of him, just like, yeah, I'd fire you. It's like, okay. So yeah, just a great organization with top tier management.
I actually see in the news here the Jaguars have requested to interview Robert Saleh for the head coach.
Oh, no, why?
I mean, we're at the point where everybody's kind of interviewing everybody. Like, there's like
but there should definitely be ones where you're like, "No, I'm good. We don't even need to interview you."
I mean, he was beloved in San Francisco. That's, I guess, probably the thing.
And maybe it's just a Jets thing.
Yeah. I mean, the Jets are cursed. There is that.
That is true. Then we had the Bengals fired defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, which, I mean, their defense was terrible, but they kind of just got rid of all their good defensive players. So it's like, I don't know what you wanted them to do. Like, also, they were like, we can't pay any of our good defenders. Let's just give them away. Like, oh, okay.
So they're firing him going into the playoffs?
They're not in the playoffs, Rob.
Oh, wait, who did you say? I thought you said Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals, they had their shot, but the Broncos made it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
If the Broncos would have lost, they would have made it. But
it's the NFL subreddit misleading me. Yeah, but okay. So then my question becomes: so they're not firing the head coach?
I would say they're probably gonna keep him then.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I know that the Bengals fans, they are not too keen on their head coach right now.
Yeah, I mean, he did get him to the Super Bowl. So
yeah, I feel like this is like, why are they freaking out? Like, they had this team could have probably gone the distance this year.
If like the three of those insanely close one-score games went the other way, no one would be talking about it. They'd be in the playoffs.
5-game win streak.
Yeah.
If they made the field goal against the Ravens in overtime, if they would have beaten the shitty Patriots, like
if they didn't start 0-4 though.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So
yeah,
like this is a full fluke year in my mind.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be fine. I'm not too worried if I'm. It's probably more about just making sure the offense stays good.
Yeah,
because I think what's his name's a free agent. Higgins.
Chase. Oh, Higgins. Yeah.
There's gonna be a whole ordeal over re-signing him.
Yeah.
If you guys liked the Brandon Ayuk saga, get ready for the T Higgins saga this offseason.
The Seahawks have fired their offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb.
That makes more sense.
I don't really know much about.
I don't know who that is. Yeah,
Now that you mention it, I don't know the Seahawks head coach right now.
He's the youngest head coach in the league.
Something McDonald.
Ronald?
Old McDonald. It's Mike McDonald.
Oh.
I was
Mike
right.
McDonald.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old Michael Ronald McDonald.
Michael McDonald. Cool. Then the Colts fired defensive coordinator Gus Bradley.
I
mean, Colts were pretty bad.
What was their? Yeah, I'm curious where they ranked at the end of the year.
Let's see. They gotta have been
curious
terrible.
who their head coach is. Also, Shane Steichen. Okay.
Yeah, how could you not know Shane Steichen?
Everybody knows Shane Steichen.
Everybody knows Shane. Then let's see. Speaking of AFC South firings, the Titans fired their general manager Ran Carthen, which
What a name.
The guy who got rid of Derrick Henry, got rid of AJ Brown.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Drafted some unbelievable quarterbacks, and then decided to pay for Calvin Ridley. That's cool.
The Colts were 29th in defensive yards allowed, by the way, last year. So or this year.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's pretty terrible. Yeah.
Also, it seems that the Titans president, this became a thing, said that whoever becomes the new general manager, he wants to have second say of what they do.
Oh.
So that's one of those
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna make it a very attractive destination for quality candidates.
Yep, I'm sure. And then we also had another coach firing. Antonio Pierce of the Raiders has been fired.
Oh,
that does track.
I don't know if he was really given a fair shot, to be honest.
Yeah,
that was Mayo.
I mean, he's got more of a shot than some of the other people. He got the job because he did such a good job with his one.
Right, but then who's his quarterback this year?
Yeah.
I don't know. When it comes to a team literally without a good quarterback, I do have to wonder how much the coach takes blame for that. You know,
because I think someone always have to go. It's so routine now.
It's tough because it definitely goes both ways. Because there are definitely some coaches who seem to dodge the criticism. Foreshadowing is sometimes very subtle. Other times. And then there's coaches that take too much blame. So finding that middle ground is that's difficile.
It does kind of feel like Antonio Pierce was. I mean, I guess they weren't trying to be this bad, I guess, but it does kind of feel like the Raiders were.
They weren't last year. This year they were trying to be very bad.
Well, but it was injury related, wasn't it? Didn't
No, they had no one. Their quarterback was Gardner Minshew at the start of the year. Or...
they traded Adams week 4 or something,
O'Connell.
right?
Right. Okay.
Promoted O'Connell.
They just straight up had no quarterback all year.
Yeah, that's so then I think this is another case of he was hired to be a tank commander, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then fired unceremoniously.
I think
they have
one of the things where he got hired because he got promoted from his defensive coordinator position or whatever he was, because McDaniels got fired because nobody liked McDaniels, and for good reason. And then everyone played really hard for him, so they're like, okay, we'll bring him back. But maybe he's just more one of those guys where he's more of a coordinator than a coach. That's always the situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch enough Raiders games. I don't know. I didn't want to watch Raiders games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's also speculation that they want to open the pathway for Shadur Sanders and Deion Sanders to have coach quarterback son.
Wait, what? They're gonna get Deion Sanders to coach?
That's a rumor.
Maybe.
Yeah. So they would trade.
I hope they do that, man. That would be that would take some spotlight away from the Jets being a dumpster fire. That would
it really would.
Yeah, for a couple weeks.
Right? Yeah, unless they're like really good together.
The Jets get pissed off and then be like, "Wait, no, we could be shittier. Watch."
Which that really would be an all-time Raiders move, just trading everything to get him and bring Deion in, and I can see it. I'd say it was like a 25% chance of that happening.
Out of all the teams that could potentially make a move like that, I feel like the Raiders they're in the top 3.
Yes.
Of that list.
100%. So that's cool. Then maybe the biggest news of the week, Ezekiel Elliott signed by the Chargers.
Okay.
Cool. I can't wait for him to take like 2 snaps in the whole playoffs.
Yep.
Probably.
It's going to be unbelievable. Watch him like fumble or something. Just be like,
he's probably going to be in like to block, right? Like he would be the second running back on a
line him up with center.
Like on the plays where there's normally like a fullback, to run him in like the fullback role.
I remember that play.
Yeah. I don't know. He's like a corpse of him for his former self. Like he
might be a good fullback.
I don't know. Is he a good blocker? Like I don't know if he is.
I think he was. I'll ask Google.
Ask Google.
Keep those stats.
There's not really any stats for like there. If you go to the like advanced stats people, like whatever they are, the PFF, they have blocking stats, but like there's no officially, track stats for blocking.
Well, I also wonder if they keep track of like the amount of times in which he was considered a run blocker. Yeah. Maybe that's something that they would be more likely to track. But at any rate, he's not going to be making a difference.
No. Then we had Tyreek Hill, who straight up was just like, I'm leaving.
Get me out of here.
Right.
But then Mike McDaniel says that he had a 1-hour meeting with Tyreek Hill and told him it's unacceptable to leave a game and won't be tolerated in the future.
Oh yeah, Mike.
That's good.
Oh boy,
it's like kindergarten. Then they had nap time, and they had juice boxes.
Put them on timeout.
You always had to feel that if Tyreek Hill was on a timer on that team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, and then that last year will definitely blow that up, I guess. So
yeah.
Oh man. So the Dolphins are collapsed then.
They are very much collapsing.
Their window has slammed shut.
Which is, again, feels so weird because it was like, dude, the Dolphins are becoming a good team, and then like a year and a half later.
Whoops.
Yep. Oh boy.
You slipped on a banana peel.
Yeah. Hey. Jinx, you owe me a blowjob.
All right.
Oh. All right. Then I mean, there's like so many coaching interviews happening. It's like not even worth mentioning.
Yeah, everybody's going everywhere.
Yeah, that's a different show.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could talk about yeah, I mean, I guess we talked a bit about the Patriots. Sorry. I'm just trying to think. Only me and Bear have teams that are going for head coaches, and
well,
the Jets have...
I barely even consider myself Patriots adjacent.
Yeah,
that's right. We have the Jets interviewed Rex Ryan.
They did as of 3 hours ago. They have completed the interview. Yeah,
how do you feel about that?
He's got it, dude.
I think that there's a non-zero chance of it actually happening. Mm-hmm. And I also think it is a clown move for a clown franchise to do, which really kind of tracks. So I can see it occurring. Here's the problem is that the best case scenario seems to be Vrabel, but also Vrabel doesn't seem like he
going
was
to the
using
Patriots.
like he was using the Jets as like a bargaining chip, like a negotiation thing. And I didn't want him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So I don't know who our head coach will be. Oh, one other point of news with Rex Ryan too. He said that if he's the Jets head coach, he's gonna end Aaron Rodgers' country club.
Yeah,
apparently.
I heard that. Yep. No more Aaron Rodgers Country Club.
I don't hate that. Honestly,
they really should end the country club, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what the country club is. What is the country club?
It might be a literal thing. You might have started a country
club.
club.
Does he have a country club?
I think he's talking about Aaron Rodgers gutting the Jets and replacing everyone with his friends. And
I mean that's definitely something that would be nice. Mm-hmm. I would like that. But also, like, is Aaron Rodgers gonna, like, that's the other thing, is that whoever ends up as our coach, are they even gonna know whether they have Rodgers or not, and Devontae Adams or whatever, or even if they would want
question.
That? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many. This team is, I don't know, man. Who's even around?
Who is even around?
Oh, we also got we interviewed one of Green Bay's GM candidates.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. A team that is competent most of the time.
Yeah.
So let's get into these shitty games.
Oh, there were a lot.
There were a lot of them. Ravens beat the Browns in a game we all knew that would happen. Bailey Zappi started for the Browns. Who played cool.
You don't even need to worry about this one, guys.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about this one.
Derrick Henry had 138 and 2 TDs.
Yep.
I don't
like there, 80% of that come in like the fourth quarter, though.
Yeah. Did he break 2,000 yards? I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
He got
1,900.
1921. So,
okay. I'll be honest, the Ravens did not look very good in the first half in this game.
They didn't, yeah.
But
also, they were probably playing like half speed.
They probably were.
Well, no, I mean, they were playing for the division.
But it's the Browns.
Yeah, true.
Actively tanking.
I don't know. I just, look, I thought the Ravens were good at the beginning of the season. Then they looked bad, and then they started to do good again, and then now they looked bad again, and now we've watched them pummel on 6 shitty teams in a row, and suddenly everyone thinks they're amazing again, and I'm like, let's slow down, okay? I'm sure they're gonna fucking pile drive the Steelers next week, but they have done nothing but just bully bad teams for the last 6 weeks. So
I'm excited.
I don't think we should be thinking so highly of them right now.
Well, kind of tangentially related. Did you happen to notice that of all of our you know how Pixel will put together our playoff predictions were our pick'ems to be reality? I noticed that of all of ours, yours was the only one that didn't have the Ravens even making the playoffs this year.
What? Wait, does that mean I didn't pick? Wait, where is
you
that?
didn't pick the Ravens to win enough games this season in your pick'ems
so often, though. That's crazy.
To make the playoffs. Yeah, they weren't even the 7 seed.
Yeah. I think I may have picked other people too much, not so much.
I think a lot of it probably had to do with your, usually when you're picking the Ravens games, it's more emotional than anything else.
No. I have the Ravens as the 1 seed at 17-0. What do you mean?
Oh, wait, what?
Okay, hold on.
I pick them every week.
He's picked them every week.
There was
one was wrong.
Every single week.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, no, that was dead wrong.
It's the complete opposite. I think it is. It is funny that Apollo's playoffs all just begin or end with the Ravens and the Steelers now. So it's just it's kind of fitting.
Yeah.
What the hell was I looking at then, man?
You probably just because of the layout of it, you looked at only the bottom.
I bet it was probably that. Well, Krendors also doesn't have Baltimore making the playoffs, weirdly.
I almost got the damn.
Oh yeah.
NFC
I don't know if I believe you anymore when you say that.
No, I'm looking at it pretty thoroughly this time.
I had the Jets as the 2 seed, so that's why.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I had the Jets as the 6 seed. So.
Oh man.
Then the Steelers played a football game, kind of.
I don't even want to talk about the football game, to be honest. I want to talk about the Steelers because here we are again.
All right.
Yeah.
Does this, like, it seems like it happened in the opposite order of last year, but does it really feel like this is any different from last year?
Yeah,
we are
like
limping into the
same book.
playoffs by one game. Like if we had lost like one more game, we'd be out. Like we barely made the playoffs. Technically, it's just it feels like we made it really easily because we clinched like 4 weeks ago. But like that's only because the rest of the AFC did so fucking bad. Like if the Bengals won one more game, the Dolphins won like 1 or 2 more games, the Colts weren't total shit. Like the Steelers will be out of the playoffs.
Well, the end went exactly like you thought it would too. We knew that the last 4 weeks was going to be hell, and they lost every single game.
Yeah, so like it genuinely feels like we're in the same position where it's like, okay, we're in the playoffs. We're going to get fucking like ass fucked in the playoffs. It's like no one like the Ravens are 8.5 point favorites, I think, for this game.
I put them higher.
Which is like really really bad. So like I don't know, man. I'm losing my mind over here still. I kind of want us to move on from Tomlin again. Like I still feel that way. To be fair, I do want to comment on one thing, which is I watched some clips from Rich Eisen's podcast, and they do this segment called Overreaction Monday. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
But they have one of their, for anyone who hasn't seen it, they have one person on the podcast basically bring up sometimes very hyperbolic, sometimes only a little hyperbolic scenarios. And finally, this is the first time he's ever brought up a fire Mike Tomlin scenario. He phrased it, he definitely specifically phrased it to not fire, but like trade for Mike Tomlin. But we all knew he meant fire. And it's interesting to finally see like the hint of discussion of like, hey, maybe the Steelers should move on. I think they should move on. One of the other members of that podcast pissed me off because he started to be like, he was complaining because he was like, he went to Pittsburgh and he's like, oh, the Steelers have it too good. They were all complaining. They all don't like, all my Steelers friends and family don't like Mike Tomlin. And they're like, you guys don't know what it's like to lose. You guys forget what, winning is like. And I'm like, I'm over here like, hey, what the fuck have we won? Like, what have we won in the last 10 years? Okay?
Playoff participant awards.
We literally 7 years, bordering probably going to be 8 years now, of 0 playoff wins. 0. That is not winning. That is not winning.
Honestly, it's when you like the more I do think, because I used to be like, yeah, Tomlin is good. And like, I think he is good, but he's kind of just a better Jeff Fisher. Like we're kind of getting to that point where he's like, he's got you at 500, but like maybe a bit better.
It's time to move on. Like here's the thing. Football is a luck-based sport, and I still think there is a 1 out of maybe, I don't think it's that crazy. I'll say a 1 out of 100 chance the Steelers could win the Super Bowl. I don't think 1% is too high, or maybe it's even too low, but I think there's a chance that the Steelers, just based on variability, make the Super Bowl and win. But like, whether it's 1% or 10% or 0.1%, it's too low. I don't want my team to always have a 1% chance. I want it to be a minimum like 1 out of 32 because there's 32 teams. So I at least want that. But like I want to be in a position of either the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Lions, even like the Rams or the Packers or even like the Commander, like all these other teams feel better. Like we genuinely, I think if the Texans weren't here, would easily be the worst team in the playoffs. Like easily. I don't like, that's not what winning is. That's not winning. It's bad. Like it's time to move on. It's time to move on. And I think you're fucking kidding yourselves if you think that it's not time.
That being said, how likely do you think Tomlin is back next year?
Like 95%.
Yeah, that's about what I was going to put it at.
I think if look, it's Steelers Ravens. They beat the Ravens once this year already. They can beat the Ravens. I don't think that it's like, I think people saying, even myself saying it's going to be a blowout guaranteed, are exaggerating because divisional matchups are weird. Steelers Ravens matchups are weird. Anything can happen. Lamar can turn the ball over and it can just be a weird game. But it's probably not. It's probably going to be like 27-10 or something. Like that's my general kind of area with this. And I want to see what the media narrative is if the likely thing happens and the Steelers get blown out and eliminated. And we go another year where TJ Watt has never won a playoff game. How fucked up is that?
Yeah.
How
That's
fucking
great.
insane is that? Like one of the best players, not only in the league, but like of all time, probably, has never won a playoff game.
If only he went to the
Something's
Packers.
got to change. Something's got to change.
I did look up Jeff Fisher, his coaching record, just to see how Jeff Fisher 173, 165, and 1.
Oh boy,
Mike Tomlin 183, 107, and 2. So Mike Tomlin has actually lost much less than Jeff Fisher.
So that's the thing, is that Tomlin, like, he wins, but like he doesn't. We're never good.
Yeah,
We're never good. So
I will
like
say
the argument,
the playoff record though, Tomlin is 18-8, but Tomlin's 8-10. Jeff Fisher's 5-6. So there it kind of lines up a little more.
and it's worse than that though, because we're 8-10 in the first 2 playoff years that like he went, first 3, because we won the Super Bowl that one year that he coached. So that's how many wins is that? That's I don't think we were first round 5.
Yeah,
so it's
2008 3 wins, and then 2010 3 wins.
Right. So 6 of those 8 wins were like 10 plus years ago, more than 10 years ago. That is over a decade. People like, that's so long ago that like I feel old thinking about how the last time my team was in the Super Bowl, I was in fucking high school or some shit, or just out of high school.
Well, okay. So here's a question though. If they were to get rid of Tomlin, who's available to be the next guy for the
Here's the
Steelers?
thing.
Because he would be number 4, right?
I don't care, because right now the Steelers are in hell. Like, we don't have a quarterback. We're not fitting the narrative of the league, which is offense. Our offense is one of the worst in the entire NFL. We just aren't there right now. If we have to go lose a year to figure shit out, I'm okay with that. Not even just for a draft pick, but if we just have to go lose a bunch of games to figure out what the hell this team is going to be, that's okay. Like, I'll take 1 year to fix stuff if it means we can have another 5+ years of actually being relevant. Because we're not relevant right now. We just aren't.
Yeah.
No one's scared of us.
You're kind of just like a better Saints.
Literally. I said that. Didn't I say that last week? We're literally the Saints, but no one talks about it. We try so hard to win every year, and we're not even relevant like at all in the playoffs.
I will say though that I don't think it's that easy to get a good coach.
It's not, but I want to try.
That's like that. Like again, like I've said before that I think it might be like a Marvin Lewis kind of territory here for Mike Tomlin, in that like he's still winning.
If
but
he's so good, and we actually can like trade picks for him, that's in my eyes an omega win. If someone wants to like trade us a first rounder, like a Sean Payton type trade, holy fuck, we should take that in a heartbeat. That would be so good.
I think the Steelers,
because I'm sitting here like we should just like fire him, but like fuck, man, I would take a first rounder in a heartbeat, man.
Well, yeah, somebody would trade for him. I
really
do
if he
think
would
they
want
just
that.
Well, yeah,
involved.
It's,
I mean, if his contract allows
dude,
for that.
How about the Bears, man? I they mentioned that on the podcast. Like,
I don't know if Mike Tomlin wants to go to the Bears.
Dude, the Bears is the most, like, in terms of players, the Bears is the most appealing team to go to.
Yeah.
They have a lot of talent. Obviously, management is terrible. But, like, Steelers management is, like, it's a mixed
one of the
bag.
best in the league.
It's a mixed bag because they are one of the best when it comes to, like, drafting and things like that. But, like, go look at the report cards. You know how the teams do report cards for their own teams? Steelers management kind of sucks at taking care of their players. Like, it's not good. They're kind of like in the Chiefs market of like just not caring for their players at all.
I feel like
the facilities aren't very good. They don't treat the families of the players well. Like they do bad on that report card like every year.
Isn't it just all the Rooneys, right? The Rooney family.
It's the Rooneys. The Rooneys, like, they kind of got a good they've got a good image for sure, but they have some significant flaws that don't get talked about. as much as other owners.
owners.
Right.
Yeah.
But also they don't do the horrible mistakes that other owners do that make those owners look fucking terrible. So
I feel
they
like
kind
that's
of
how the Bears kind of are too, which is funny how similar, because they're just like the McCaskey. They're just people that don't really know football, but they're just like, we're a family that owns the team, and they're just like whatever. Like they don't really know what's happening.
I mean, if they're not involved, that's I will tell you much better than an owner like Woody Johnson who gets very involved. And
right, but there's a stagnation to it of like before, where we're not the Steelers are not proactive at all right now. They are coasting extremely, and that's one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, I would say
anyway,
having Russell Wilson at like 40.
Yeah, no, people were talking about like the Steelers should sign Russell Wilson for like 3 years, like the Baker Mayfield deal or something, and I genuinely was like, no, at the time, no, please, no. This is when he was playing better too.
Yeah,
and now here we are after like 4 weeks, and he's looked like dog shit.
Yeah,
and it's like now everyone's like, oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, like he's putting up 2,400 yards, 16 TDs, and 5 interceptions. Like that's not. Great.
It's 11 games. It's 11 games though. Important.
That's still not very good for.
Like if you look at we don't have an offense.
If you look at every other playoff team right now, like I think I'm trying to find another team that has a quarterback with that low of stats, and it's
well again,
yards
it's like
per game.
It's probably bad. Our run game is kind of the only thing that carries our offense, but like that's the thing is like I don't like any of our coaching staff. Like Arthur Smith is not inspiring. Like we have this issue of like our offense was so bad last year that like this felt like a massive upgrade because it was, but it's still really bad. Like it was an upgrade from garbage to half garbage.
Yeah.
So there's 17 games that you could totally play, right? Just to be clear. Okay.
Yes.
So, if we took his yards per game and put it over an 17-game season, then he would have 3,800 yards, 3835.2. So that's respectable, honestly. I didn't do it for the touchdowns yet, but
I think there might be an issue, a lopsidedness as well, though, because
funnily enough, I actually think it's a really, we just talked about the Saints, right? So Russell Wilson played one more game than Derek Carr did, and Derek Carr threw for 2,100 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. So
about the same.
About the same. So it's actually funny how similar he is to Derek Carr in the Saints.
Yeah. He did also get 2 rushing touchdowns, but wasn't really not a huge running threat. Exactly.
No. He also probably has a lot of sacks too, I would imagine.
Yeah, he would. So the TDs at his TD rate would be at 24.7. So call it 25. He would have 25 on the season in theory.
He it's like nothing that's gonna will you to win.
If he's our starter next year, we're just the same team. Like he's gonna get worse. When quarterbacks get old, they get worse, and he's pretty old now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Brady was a huge anomaly, and even he got worse. Like he just took way longer than other players. Like Russell Wilson is not Tom Brady.
Because Russell Wilson's strength used to be his mobility, and now he doesn't have that as much as
he's a rock. He is a statue in the pocket. It's bad.
Yeah. But who do you get though? Do you draft a guy?
I don't know.
Because I'm thinking right now. Like I'm looking at this.
Rodgers.
This is what I've been saying. Like the team needs to do something. Like there's an issue. It's not an easy fix, but like something needs to be done. We can't just being like, well, I guess we take what we get. Let's not do anything.
I do want to like say that I think maybe keeping him around would probably be a good idea, because looking at this, right? If I don't want to go fucking 10-7 again and not have a draft pick. I don't want to do that. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that if this is, he would have been on pace in theory to have 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 8 picks.
But he's not
so like better. That's again. That's a lot. It's not going to get better,
because I don't. You have to look at the performance against good teams. We had a schedule that the first half was very easy, and then the second half was a nightmare, and we did not perform well in any of our games against good teams.
For sure,
none of them.
No,
maybe the Bengals, but like their defense is horrible. So
I just
kind of
mean that that's a lot of potential stats that would be, going to zero until you have somebody else. You know what I mean? So like that's that. Well, it's a lot to replace. Is all I mean.
Look, I mean, if we want to, I would rather Justin Fields, because even if Justin Fields is a worse quarterback, at least there is some kind of higher ceiling to shoot for. And if we lose, whatever. Like, I don't think, like, we already saw the difference is not, like, we still won games with Fields.
Yeah.
Or well, like, Tomlin is good at raising the floor. That's one of his strengths. He wins even when we don't have good players. So why not just go with the younger guy?
Yeah.
And not waste $100 million or whatever it would be to sign Russell Wilson. Like, we do not need to pay him. That's my fear.
Dude, I hope this podcast goes up and then Russell Wilson balls out like I've never seen.
Dude, I am thinking the same thing through this whole diagram. Is like, the longer this goes, the more certain I become it's going to happen. There's there's no way the Steelers don't win after all this.
Oh my god, yeah, like if Russell Wilson just comes back alive for the playoffs, blows through, wins the
has an
second
incredibly mobile game, goes for 90 on the ground and 2 TDs.
That'd be great.
It would be a shock. It would be a surprise. Yeah. I'd be shocked.
I mean, he was good in the playoffs.
I already said multiple times, like, we can beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to, but we can.
Yeah.
But that's because it's the Ravens and Steelers, and divisional games are weird, not because we're good.
Well, speaking of divisional games, every game this week is divisional games. We had Panthers.
And also that was the Ravens Browns, by the way.
That was the
I didn't want to talk about the.
We kind of moved on without saying we moved on.
The game
fair, yeah.
At least I think, I don't even know. That was we're on Panthers Falcons, and hey, you know what? The Panthers, they're getting it together.
The back half of the year, the Panthers were solid.
Yep. Yeah. And they should have beaten the Buccaneers if the referees knew how to call a touchdown, or if the Panthers didn't fumble. This team could be 6-11 right now.
Remember when they almost beat the Chiefs?
Yeah, they almost beat the Chiefs too. The Panthers are kind of looking like a team that next year might actually play for the division, because this division also sucks ass.
Yeah.
So
Bryce needs to take several steps first.
Yes. But he's
finally showing he is not a complete failure. I don't even want to be mean. I'm just being accurate.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's past CJ Stroud now.
This year absolutely he was better than Stroud, but that's a low bar.
Yeah.
He did.
I think if you're a Panthers fan, I feel like earlier in the year it felt like the next 5 years were going to be miserable.
Yeah,
but now there's this season. Yeah, you look ahead and you're like, okay, maybe they won't be horrible.
Yep,
it's possible.
It could still be bad. Let's not pretend that it could just be still bad. Yeah. But at least there's a little bit of hope now.
People thought he was a bust, right?
Yeah, I will say, as a Jets fan, I don't know what it's like as a Panthers fan. However, if this was the sort of thing that happened to me as a Jets fan, that would be par for the course. Showing up only at the last half of the year, where it doesn't really matter, just to keep people in place so that we're shitty again next year. I would be very mad. But maybe it's really good for the Panthers. Maybe they're not as cursed as the Jets.
Well, I think the big thing with him is that he actually showed, even if they'd lose, he looked like a good quarterback. He'd make some really good throws. He'd make good decisions. And I think that's what they were looking for. Him getting benched at the start of the year. He looked terrible at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Unbelievably bad. And then ever since he got benched and came back, he just looked completely different. So I think he needed that. And it seems like he's improved. I don't know what that did for him, but maybe it might have just been a mental thing, right? I'm sure he people were telling him, you suck, you're a bust. He's still looking bad, and then maybe just sitting down.
That is perfectly valid, dude. And we forget these are kids. He's like 21 or something.
Dude, I honestly, I fully believe that a big part of why the Jets have always been shitty, or have been shitty for at least a long time, is because the New York sports media is fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, man.
Like,
that must be awful.
Like, for instance, Darnold was basically run out of New York by New York sports media because of the seeing ghosts thing. Like, that was completely just a phrase that football players use to describe a situation. You know, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the New York sports media is awful. And can you imagine, coming out, especially if you're a high draft pick, you're supposed to be something, and
like,
you
probably
probably
so
were that
ignore,
thing.
Dude.
Yeah, and like for these guys, usually, I don't know about Bryce Young specifically, but like most of these guys coming out of college that are that highly drafted were that good for a long time. So they've won their whole lives until they get to the NFL, right?
Exactly. Like Trevor Lawrence style.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, there's even that quote of Caleb Williams earlier this year where he was talking to his teammates and he's like, so like, how do we get used to losing like this? Like, I haven't done this. Like they've won their whole lives. And now it's like, you've lost so much. So I think part of that plays into it. I do think, because like, think of the mental aspect for him. Like you're the number one pick. You go to Carolina, and then you're like, he's kind of getting outplayed by C.J. Stroud. He was the wrong pick. And you're like, oh, okay. And then everyone's like, oh, the Bears are drafting this, like, Caleb Williams. Glad they did that trade. The Panthers are idiots. So then you're just going through, and you're just like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I am a bust. Like, maybe I am a letdown. And then I think maybe you sit down, you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not. And then you start actually just playing. And I think that kind of happened for him.
Yeah,
it's totally possible.
Yeah,
Could be.
And he seems like a good dude. So I mean, I hope
here's an alternative thing that happened. Maybe
magic.
What? Yeah. What if he found a sword in a stone and then he pulled it out of the stone and then was given a magic quest to take the Panthers to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's got to be it, Coach. I
think it could be that.
I think that's a more plausible situation.
Could be that.
I actually do.
Yep.
Leave it to Rob to just set us right back on the.
Look, this is why we need a force like mine.
From the light, and he has brought us back to God, Coach.
Yeah.
There are people that brought up the fact that their coach Dave Canales, was one of the people that resurrected Geno Smith's career.
Oh, okay.
He also was with Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield, and now and then goes to Carolina. So like,
this is a QB whisperer kind of guy.
Could be a QB whisperer right there.
QB whisperer.
Why would you?
If you want to know QB whisperers,
we are right back on track, baby.
Also on the other side, Michael Penix looks pretty good.
He does.
Yeah.
Imagine if the Falcons looking less crazy by the week.
Yeah, imagine if they would have played him like earlier in the season.
Yeah,
that would have been crazy. Bijan Robinson also ran for 170 and 2 touchdowns. Drake London 187, 2 touchdowns. Like, Falcons got some players.
That division's looking pretty good, man. Besides one team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's looking takeable. You know.
Yes.
It's very takeable.
Yes. Because you don't know how long the Bucks will keep doing what they're doing. Like, I'm still like, the Falcons, they're a younger team on the rise. I think we thought they'd be better this year, but I think Kirk Cousins did kind of hold them back a bit. And then the Panthers are, growing, and then the Saints are just a disaster. So
I don't know if we mentioned this because I did my classic patented zone out for a moment there. I was reading a bunch of stuff, but man, it's crazy that we look back on the Penix draft pick and it's just like, man, that we all thought that was the dumbest thing ever of all time. That we made fun of that for like 4 straight weeks.
We did.
Yes. Yeah. No, I need to say that's looking less crazy by the week.
Yeah, and now we're like, that was insanely smart. They must have known something we didn't, or because now it looks like the Kirk Cousins.
Dude, it's actually one of the things that look, I'm not saying anything positive about the man necessarily, but there was a show that was Gruden's QB camp years ago,
right?
And he would interview the draft picks, the QBs coming out, and that was like such a good resource for like, at least for the fan side, because you can see like an interview the personality of the person, which is something that when you're just like reading stats or you're watching games, you really don't get a sense of, you don't know whether this guy, what he's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is I think as much a factor as their skill, because all of them are good, right?
Yeah. Well, thinking back now, I think the big thing that people also made fun of was the fact that they paid Kirk Cousins all this money and then took a quarterback. And so it was kind of weird. It's like, you could just take the quarterback, but they're like, he's going to sit behind Kirk Cousins. So, like, maybe that helped him. Like, it could have helped him. Maybe he played right away and
I'm sure it did
or something.
Yeah. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he's a longtime veteran from multiple different teams and systems. So, like, his process, his preparation is something that Penix could definitely learn from, I'm sure.
Yeah, because it showed him, even like the game they were going to start, he like pats Penix on the back and he's just like, yo, here we go, like helping him out and everything. So I'm sure it does, play a role. So we'll see how they are going forward. Or if Kirk Cousins goes somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe.
He probably will. I would imagine, right?
Yeah. Then we had Texans-Titans. Cool.
Fun.
Yo, Dameon Pierce, 176 yards and a touchdown. Look at him go.
This is Texans backups.
Yep.
We should just skip the games with backups, honestly.
Then we had the Giants lose to the Eagles. Drew Lock versus Tanner McKee.
Yeah, lost the backups.
Baby.
That's how you tank. That's how you tank.
That's some quality tanking
Colts,
right there.
Jaguars, Joe Flacco.
Wait. Hold on. We can't go past the Eagles game without pointing out Saquon Barkley.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, man.
Came in and got 2,000 yards.
Go Saquon.
He did it.
Wait, no, he got 2,000 yards last week.
That's right. He got it last week.
Oh.
He did not play today.
Me.
Didn't play. Yeah.
Rob tricked me. All right.
Get fucked.
You had me too, man. I was so confused. I was looking at the game stats from that game, so that I was even further sunk into it.
Yeah, I think they replayed the highlight.
Cool.
Mind flooded me.
Colts beat the Jaguars in overtime. Cool. Commanders beat the Cowboys at the end of the game, although they played Marcus Mariota for most of this game. And then Trey Lance played for the Cowboys, and he played kind of.
He played.
Yep.
I mean,
then we had the Bears Packers.
Oh, this is all you, brother.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd go into this game and we would, look pretty good with the starters and then be like, hey, that's all right. Maybe see how Washington's doing, pull them, put in the backups, whatever. I didn't even care. I was like, even if the Packers lose this game, maybe they put backups in, whatever. I just wanted, for after last week, I was like, maybe they'll come out, look, a little well-oiled, ready for the playoffs, and then move on. Well, that didn't happen. They received the ball and then proceeded to look bad. They just they didn't even look like they were doing anything. Granted, the Bears defense is pretty good, but the Packers just did not look great. Like, they just didn't look playoff ready, which was not a great sign. So they get a field goal. They go up 3-0. Then the Bears get a kick return or punt return touchdown. I don't remember which one, where they do the thing where they line up two returners and then both returners are like, I'm going to get the ball. And they're just like, which guy is it? Which one's get the ball? And they couldn't figure it out. And then they just run it back. So they go up 7-3. Then the Packers proceed to fumble.
It was a punt return, by the way. Sorry.
It is a punt return. Yep. Then the Packers get the ball, proceed to throw to Jaden Reed, who fumbles in our own 27-yard line. So the Bears get the ball, and guess what? They score. So then it's 14-3, and it's like, all right, this is good. Then the Packers also have Jordan Love, who made a crazy play to get the ball out to Jacobs, then smashed his funny bone into a player's helmet or on the ground. And so he couldn't feel his bottom two fingers or something, so he couldn't grip the ball. So he goes out. Malik Willis comes in. All right. And he looks okay. I believe he got us down for a touchdown. And we're like, all right, it was 14-10. Everything's looking a little better. I think it was 14-13 at the half. But then just there was a terrible penalty by Wicks, lining up Christian Watson tore his ACL, so he's gone, maybe forever. And then they straight up just pulled Josh Jacobs. They're like, yeah, he's not getting hurt. Like they just pulled him. They're like, keep him ready for the playoffs, which thank God, because that was the last thing they needed is losing Jacobs, who should literally just get the ball every play in the playoffs. Like just anyway. And then it's like a series of errors. And then they proceeded at the end of the game to get a touchdown to go down 2. And then Malik Willis smashed his hand into a player's helmet. So he like hurt his thumb. So he tried to do a 2-point conversion and it like just fluttered out of his hand. And he pointed to his hand like, yo, my hand's messed up. So it's like, that's great. Boy. So now even the backup quarterback's hand's hurt. But we still managed to get the ball and go down the field and get a field goal, 51-yarder for our kicker or whatever. It was like, dude, we have a real field goal kicker again. This is awesome. We go up by 1. Okay? Apollo's going to love this. So we kick the ball to the Bears. Okay? They're at like their own 20. Caleb Williams scrambles out, horse collared. So they get a 15-yard penalty. All right. Then Edgerrin Cooper, our linebacker's got a straight shot at him. Just sack him. He whiffs it. Then the Bears get a like 40-yard play because we played prevent defense. Why are we playing prevent defense? It doesn't make any sense. Dude, they lined up behind field goal range. Like, why are we lining up so far back? Then they rushed 3. Why are we rushing 3? It's all
is the most sacked quarterback in the league, and you rush 3 is crazy.
It's genuinely insane. But oh my God, I forgot the most important part. So when we kicked our field goal, there was 51 seconds left. Okay, so you would think, oh, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run the clock down to like 20 seconds and then kick the field goal, and then the Bears only have 20 seconds left. But no, we called a timeout with 51 seconds left or some shit. And then we kick the field goal. So no time runs on the clock. And so the Bears get it back with like 47 seconds. And so everyone's like, why did he take a timeout? Why didn't he just run the clock? Like, you're going to kick the field goal. You're not going to go for it. So just like terrible time management and then terrible prevent defense. And then the Bears kick like a 51-yarder and they win, which their kicker, apparently, who can't make long field goals, actually makes a long field goal. This was like the most cursed game.
To piggyback off that, I think it should be mandatory now for teams to hire time management coaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not going to do it.
I have to assume at this point that head coaching is too stressful and you're too in the game when it's happening and you cannot focus on the clock. That's the only excuse for week in, week out repetitive time management failures by literally every coach in the league. Yep. It is insane how almost every coach does this, from the bad ones to the good ones.
Yeah.
It's insane. It can't happen, man.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't even if they like do that and run the clock down, they're going to play shitty prevent defense anyway. They probably would have let it up even with that.
Yeah.
So just like, oh my God, I forgot. How could I forget? 4th and 3. All right. Maybe we're going to run a play action with Malik Willis. Let him sneak outside, right? Like boot the tight end. Maybe if the guy is supposed to cover the tight end goes for Malik Willis, then he does a little dump off pass. That sounds great. What do? A jet sweep. Stop running jet sweeps. They don't work. They never work. We ran a jet sweep on a 2-point conversion last year against the Giants. Guess what? It didn't work. We ran a jet sweep some other time this year. Guess what? It did. I swear to God, Matt LaFleur is going to like bust his load over a jet sweep. This shit is the most frustrating play. It's become the new A.J. Dillon up the middle. Stop. At least, you know what? Now we have Josh Jacobs, who's actually good at running up the middle, and we don't do it. So we're going into the playoffs. And I have lost all faith. Because every week, I've become Apollo now with the Packers. Mm-hmm. Every week I'm like, you know what? This team can beat anybody if they just clean up the penalties and the mistakes. But guess what? They're still doing them. So I'm like, I don't think it's going to randomly just happen now. Maybe it will. I hope it does. But I've lost all hope. So every win they get in the playoffs is like a bonus to me because I'm going to be locking the Eagles this week. So yeah, that was the Packer game.
That build up to Jet sweep, man, that got me good. That was that tickled me.
Some people are still like, you lost to the Bears. I'm like, I don't even care. I care about this team looking good to go to the playoffs. I don't give a shit about the Bears. And they didn't look good. So I'm like, now I'm worried because we're going to play the Eagles, which we might actually look out because Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol. I swear to God, if we get to play the Eagles with Jalen Hurts or without Jalen Hurts, that'd be like the greatest thing. And they'd probably still win. They just run Saquon Barkley every play, and we'd still
they do still have Saquon.
Yeah.
So,
well, this whole like I'm starting to really truly hate running offenses. Like it genuinely like is just to my eyes like the worst version because like it only works if you perform at a perfect level constantly. Like it's a no mistake offense. You cannot make mistakes. Yep. If you run the ball a single time and get like 2 yards, you lose so much momentum like instantly. And it's so easy for that to happen. Right? Like even the best running offense in the league, which is either like you want to say the Eagles or the Ravens, you can probably say either. Like their running offense works because they have quarterbacks who also can throw the ball. Like it's a mix. Like there's a threat of a high-powered passing attack, not just the run, but yes, they're also really good at running. So it's that combination that makes it so good. Like if you just run a Steelers style or what have you, you know, rushing offense, it don't work. It just don't work. It's easy, it's predictable, and there's no threat to it.
Well, there was something that I wanted to say when we were talking about the Ravens, is that if they do well in the playoffs, and if they even win the Super Bowl, for instance, it's been a long time since a team that's built that way has won the Super Bowl. It used to be the norm, right? Where it was like rushing focused.
Right.
But it hasn't been that way for probably at least 20 years now. You know?
Yeah.
So it is interesting. I mean, because in the modern era, we have Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley and
Josh Jacobs.
Jay Short.
Yep.
Again, I really do think it's that marriage though of passing and rushing. Like defenses have gotten so good that you need to be able to threaten them at every single weakness that you possibly can. Otherwise, they will stack the box or only rush like 3 and just be like, okay, you can't run the ball on us, so you have to throw. And you like if you are a one-dimensional offense, even a bad defense can just like that's what happened to the Steelers on Sunday. They played the Bengals' horrible, worst defense in the league again. And they just couldn't throw the ball. So the Bengals just went, okay, we're going to, stop you from running the ball and you're going to lose. And that's what happened. We couldn't do anything. We ran the ball for like 2 yards and run past and lost the game.
I think that's what's so frustrating about this Packers team is they have the ability to do both. Like they can pass and they can run, but it feels like they'll just do the dumbest shit. They're just like, that was a good run and a penalty. All right, that was a good pass and he dropped it. And it's just like, he fumbled it. Like every time something's going right, some random shit goes wrong. And I'm just like, when's it going to stop? Maybe it's never going to stop. That might just be the theme of our season. Just like, you goofed it. So like, I'm hoping they put it together. And this is honestly, I was actually happy that they get the 7 seed because I do think the Eagles are an easier opponent than like the Rams or Buccaneers. I was genuinely kind of scared of those teams. Because I think their offense is a little more high power of passing. And even if Jalen Hurts does play, like he hasn't played in 3 weeks, so he might be a little rusty. Like you never know. So I think the Packers can win, but then they'd have to go to Detroit and then they'd probably lose. But I'm at the point where it's again, I'm expecting to lose every week now. So any wins for me are great. I at least get to watch 1 extra week and complain about something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Then the Buccaneers beat the Saints, which they actually were losing to the Saints.
Yeah, man, it's scary.
And I went, how are you losing to Spencer Rattler? Come on.
Yep.
That was, I don't know. The Saints were even running Clyde Edwards-Helaire back there.
I'm going to chalk that up to
him.
Divisional weirdness because I don't understand why that game went this way.
Yeah, that
was bizarre.
That is pretty weird. But they won it. Then the Patriots beat the Bills, which Joe Milton III, 241 yards and a touchdown.
These are all Madden names, man.
They are.
That's great. No, that is
I don't even
randomly
know
generated.
who Joe Milton was, but I saw.
I think he's AI.
He might be.
Yeah.
I saw a stat, and one of the scouts said, if you need a guy to throw 50 yards, Joe Milton III is your man. If you need a guy to throw 10 yards, Joe Milton can throw 50 yards. So I guess that's what he does. He just throws deep balls. But I mean, Mitchell Trubisky played for the Bills, so, and Mike White came in.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Mike White.
Yeah, Mike White.
The return of Mike White.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Chargers beat the Raiders. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
is anyone taking this Chargers team seriously, man? Because I certainly am not.
I am a little.
Well, I'm glad they're playing the Texans because that feels like an even matchup. Like they're both kind of.
That's true. Yeah.
So I'm like,
yeah,
maybe one of them gets going because of this game. Like, I don't know which team I like more in this situation, honestly.
I think that coaching has a significant impact, and that's why I view the Chargers as potentially, I don't know, scary. I think they could be a little bit of a sleeper team going into the playoffs. Okay.
I do trust Herbert more than CJ Stroud at this point too. He's more experienced and everything.
Oh, big time, yeah.
But yeah, that should be a good game. I think that might be the best AFC game we're gonna get.
Probably.
Yeah. Then the Cardinals beat the 49ers and Joshua Dobbs. That's neat. Then the Broncos beat the Chiefs 38-0. I am solely convinced that the Chiefs were like, we don't want the Bengals in the playoffs. And they just like their backups didn't even try. They're just like, whatever.
No, that was a cleared sell to make sure that because who would you rather play at, Broncos or Bengals?
Broncos.
You'd rather play the Broncos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
But hey, you know what? Congrats to the Broncos. Bo Nix and the Broncos actually making it to the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Dude, this is a very solid year.
And that was after a year of Russell Wilson and all that happening, and them being like, oh God, we're in purgatory of the NFL. Like they thought they were there, and now they're actually in the playoffs. Like that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I'm like short circuiting again. I'm reading like more Steelers stuff, and it's like my brain is actually cooking. Like I think I'm being dosed with radiation right now.
you might be. Then the Seahawks beat the Rams in a pretty meaningless game because Jimmy Garoppolo played for the Rams and Ronnie Rivers was their running back. That's another AI generated.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Not a real person. Sorry, Ronnie. I know that's not a nice thing to hear.
Ronnie watches.
It really doesn't sound like a Madden name, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a small chance that there is someone who watches who's in the NFL.
Let us know if that's you.
Yeah,
everybody's just gonna say it's them now.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah.
So that's cool. Then the Jets beat the Dolphins. Look at that. Aaron Rodgers.
The meaningless win at the end to ruin the draft slot.
Yeah, perfect.
As it was foretold.
I knew
it. It's
500 TDs for Aaron Rodgers. He got it.
Yep, he threw it to Alan Lazard and Devontae Adams.
Well, Conklin caught his 500.
Right, yeah. But at the end, they were really trying to force it to Devontae Adams.
Yeah. I'm glad I got to see all my old favorite players playing together and having fun.
And they're still in green.
Yep.
Look at
it's
that.
really cool. So we don't know if they'll be back.
Yeah, no, Yep.
Wasn't that a fun 2 years of the Jets Aaron Rodgers experiment?
What a great season. Now that it's over, can't we say that?
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Boy,
what a treat.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah, that was just everything about that was enjoyable and everyone liked it.
You know it.
So, boy, oh boy. Can't wait till next year. I'm sure they'll do well.
I can't wait to see what they do. Just their choices, how they'll mess it up this time. I have no idea.
Dude, okay, so actually, for a little thought experiment, what do you guys think? Do you think Aaron Rodgers is coming back next year to play on the Jets?
They're breaking up his country club.
I don't think so.
If I'm going to New York, I do not want Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
I think you look at maybe trading for someone or just I don't know. Like honestly, I look at that as the same situation as me with Russell Wilson. Like it feels like you've got this older quarterback who's only going to get worse. They aren't performing to a level that is satisfactory. Why would you want another year of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, it's going to be up to, I guess, the coach and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, but I personally, I don't know. I mean, like if he's back next year, like if you look at him statistically for the year, he really didn't do that terribly.
No.
And also, it is statistically one of the best Jets QB seasons. However, it is also one of the seasons where I have cared the least about the Jets.
Which is saying something.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta wonder like how detrimental he is to a team. Like Green Bay saw it. He's still a serviceable quarterback, but man, does he detract and just pull all the attention away from everyone else and just make
he's a
the
black
locker room worse. Yeah.
I mean, it's like he invites drama into the team, into the locker room.
I don't think that should be ignored. I think that should be counted as a statistic, just like touchdowns. Like it's a problem.
Like I said, the last year Rodgers with the Packers was one of the least fun I've ever had watching in offenses. Like it was just him screaming at people, being like, "You didn't run the right routes." He would be clashing with LaFleur, like everything. It was just bad. And that's why I was like, I'm ready to just move on just because I'm tired of that. Like he was clearly declining. And then it's like, even now, like, even though it's like our team is like making mistakes and doing it, like they're still young and they still have room to grow. And I'm not like, oh man, next year, I hope everyone's going to be back. Like I'm like, hey, you know what? Even if this fails, we still got hope for next year. And it's like, if Rodgers was here, it would just be like, is he going to retire? Is he going to move on? Like, it's just, I was so done with that. But there's two teams that might pursue Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
One of which is the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, wow. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be down to do that? I don't know
I
if
think he
is.
might rather retire, to be honest.
I was going to say, you might as well just hang it up at that point, brother.
Okay, so, follow-up question. If Aaron Rodgers, doesn't play for the Jets next year, where do you think he goes?
Well,
does he retire or does he,
Dude, he's got to be done.
I'd say there's like a 60% chance he retires. I'd say there's like a 10% chance he goes back to the Jets, and then like 30% chance he goes somewhere else. The Titans are another team that got mentioned.
Right.
Which I do think the Titans make more sense than the Browns. They at least, they're kind of in a disarray. He could probably take them over and bring his friends in,
Yeah.
Like I can see.
Oh yeah,
he
definitely. Well, so because that's the thing, right? Is that if you're gonna get Aaron Rodgers, it's a package deal with Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Which
he'd have Adams. He'd have Calvin Ridley. You got some guys there.
He'd probably have Lazard.
Yeah, he'd probably have Lazard. I think Tennessee makes the most sense in my mind. They got the number 1 pick, right? They could probably be like, who do you want? Maybe they trade it to Oakland or Las Vegas or shit. And they like get a bunch of assets and draft guys around. Like, who knows? I could honestly see that. I don't see him with the Browns. I think he doesn't want to go to the Browns. I think he'd rather retire. So it'll be, I would say, interesting, but I don't even think it's that interesting anymore, to be honest. Like, whatever.
I'm done being interested in him.
That's fair.
We'll see. We'll find out. But there you go. New York Jets.
Oh boy, what a great season!
Woohoo!
Yep. Then we had where am I? Oh, then we had Vikings Lions, which was a much worse game than I thought it would be.
Well, it was like close for a while.
Yeah, it was a defensive battle.
Yeah. And then it wasn't. And then, the Lions ran away with it.
Yeah. But the Lions deserve the 1 seed. Like they really do.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. They're just like, even the defensive dudes, like they're so banged up, so injured, and they're still playing good defense. Like not even bad, like solid defense.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was painful for Darnold's season, unfortunately.
Yep.
In that game. However, I still very much believe. Now, I do also want to mention, because I saw this, that I think, I don't know if it's still true, but Sam Darnold was ahead in the voting of Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh,
which I think is very silly.
So stupid. They literally made a point to be like, I think when this year started, after fucking Joe dumbass Flacco won the award, they were like, hey guys, this award is about like, overcoming adversity, and like it's not just player who played better this year from last year. Like that's not what the award is about.
Player and now they're going to get out of a dog shit team.
Right.
Yeah, it's not player who played for Jets and now don't play for Jets.
Right.
And here we are. Sam Darnold's probably going to win again, even though it should definitely go to Damar Hamlin. How does this keep happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things too, but it's similar to like the most valuable player award, except I think more stark in this case, because it's called the comeback player. And he's not coming back from anything.
Yeah.
He
was coming back from last season.
People
like he's
fucking. This is a brain rot. This comeback player shit, because there are so many people who, for some reason, hate Damar Hamlin now because of how the media treated him. Yeah, no, like at least on the internet. I mean, normal people don't care.
Yeah,
but like genuinely, I read some people like, "Oh, I'm so tired of hearing about Damar Hamlin. Who cares?" It's like, bro, do you remember like what happened?
Literally.
And the goalpost moving. Oh my God, there were so many people last year who were like, Damar Hamlin doesn't deserve it. He's not even starting for the team. He's not even starting. He doesn't deserve the award. And now, okay, he's starting. He started the whole year. And he did pretty good. Like, he did fine.
Yeah.
He wasn't a star player, but he wasn't bad. Like, he was very average. And let's be honest, if any of us here were even, like, the worst football player ever, we'd still be 20 times better than the rest of us, right? Like, being a player in the NFL is so fucking hard. Like, to be a starter is way harder. To be a starter who isn't ass is even fucking harder.
Yeah.
Like, give this guy his goddamn credit. He came back from dying.
From the grave. From the other side.
No one on planet Earth, not a single living soul deserves this award more than him. Give me a break.
This leads me to just realize how meaningless awards and stuff are, like MVP.
They are.
Yeah.
The last year was a complete scam. Like 3 Cleveland people won awards. Are we gonna not talk about how insane that is?
It's funny that you mentioned that. Well, actually, technically, I mentioned it, but the awards thing is because the same kind of thing is going on with like the Golden Globes and the Emmys. With different things being listed as a comedy. Like for instance, The Bear being listed as a comedy, and like people on the internet are up in arms about it, and I feel really bad because it's my friend who won the Emmy or the Golden Globe, and but it's like he's getting one of those asterisk ones, where everyone's like, well,
because awards are just inherently meaningless across the board.
Yeah, it's just a political game.
It's just so annoying because it's so obvious. Like it's so. I think TJ Watt is the leading favorite for Defensive Player of the Year this year, and he's had like, I don't want to say half, but like 2/3 as good of a season as he had last year. Like he's done significantly worse this year than he did last year, but he's gonna win this year, I guess, just cause. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't make any fucking sense, man.
No, it's get him back.
Like he's not even like TJ Watt has been good, but like, man, Cam Hayward probably has had a better season. I feel like, at least I don't know. Maybe I'm making that shit up, but it feels that way to me.
Yeah, no, it's like the Game Awards. They were like Elden Ring DLC is like Game of the Year. It's like, dude, this is DLC. Like,
it's so funny to me because I feel like the Game Awards gets the award right more than any other like award show, and they still get it wrong a lot.
Yeah. So it's really, awards are meaningless and dumb and stupid. And dumb.
Which is why we're gonna argue for probably 30 plus minutes about who won the MVP and who shouldn't have won it. Look forward to that show after the Super Bowl.
But if there are any podcast awards, we would like to submit ourselves.
Of course.
I mean, we can just start one.
The worst podcast.
I mean, that was, dude, honestly, speaking of the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley smart man, just creating an awards.
Jeff Keighley,
thing.
he is a little corporate bug, but like I love him. I love him.
He's just, I mean, it's a smart guy. There's a void in that industry, and he made it a whole thing.
By the way,
corporate bug.
He is.
It's honestly very accurate. None of
Game Awards is a good show, and I love watching it every year. So keep doing your thing, Jeff.
Love you, Jeff.
Also, Jahmyr Gibbs had 3 touchdowns and 139 yards.
Jahmyr
Gibbs,
he had 4 touchdowns, dude.
Ate a receiving touchdown as well.
Too.
Yeah, no, he is insane and didn't get enough credit for how good he's been all year because the Lions are just so good that their team
he's like
kind of blends
the 4th
together.
best offensive player on the Lions or something.
Yeah, well, they had like David Montgomery running too.
Yeah.
And apparently he might return for the divisional round.
Yeah, he was not placed on IR. He could be back.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is kind
even
of insane.
supposedly, I mean, it could be a little bit of an Aaron Rodgers scenario, but Aiden Hutchinson said he would be back for like the championship game.
This, you know what? This might be like some little bit of smoke screening kind of thing, right?
Well, he
that
said
would
it,
be hype.
He
though.
said it like 2 months ago, I think. He was
did,
like,
yeah.
I'll be
okay.
But
Okay.
like, I mean, he literally had his whole leg snapping too. So
Yeah.
it would be fucking insane if he came
It
back
would.
and played.
But that stadium would be crazy if he came back.
Oh man,
dude.
My God.
He was walking around on the sideline for the first time this game.
Yeah.
So he's not like he is healing.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
And
cheering.
let's be honest, the Super Bowl's a month away, so
Yeah.
that's a long time.
I will be cheering for the Lions in the NFC unless they're playing the Packers, in which case I will be cheering for the Packers. But any other scenario.
At this point, I might be cheering for the Lions more than the fucking Steelers just because I'm so mad. But
yeah.
I want to jump on the Lions bandwagon, but it's too late.
No, it's not too late. The team is so much fun to watch.
I mean,
I'm on that Lions bandwagon, baby. Hop on.
I love watching the Lions because they are everything I want in a football team. They have a coach who doesn't give a fuck and will go for it like all the time. And even when he gets it wrong, I don't care. I'm like, I'm happy you exist the way you are. And I don't care if you go too far sometimes.
Yeah.
It's also fun because like I remember when he took over, he's just kind of like a meme guy. He's biting kneecaps and drinking caffeine and everything, and then
now he's like just coach of the year candidate type guy.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, he honestly reminds me of Rex Ryan if Rex Ryan were good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to see him again soon, so that's good.
Yeah.
And that's the games of the season.
Oh my God, the regular season is done.
So
hey, before we move on to the next section, I wanted to mention because I don't think did we not mention it last week? The winner of the fantasy football.
We did not. We
I don't
completely
think we
ignored
did.
fantasy.
We were such assholes with it. God damn it.
We weren't part anymore, so we didn't
Well,
care.
we should have a section where we, crown the winner and all that.
Yeah,
we should, yes. All right.
I mean, you want to do it?
I won. I didn't win.
Yeah, no. Let's hold on.
It was Master Profits Madman. Yeah,
I thought that it's somebody. I thought maybe the coach host of the show.
I lost in the playoffs. I didn't give a shit.
Me too. I lost. I mean, wait,
Master Profits
Ghana?
Madman took down KJ Sandwich's Capicolas 161 to 124 in the championship game. Of course, this was Team Lamar versus Team Saquon.
Yep.
Lamar went for 32 that game. Brock Purdy was starting for KJ actually and put up 34, so that was a pretty hefty contribution. But it wasn't any beating this team, man. We were talking about it all year, but
I don't know. I would have beat him this week. I scored 171 points this fucking week in the third place game.
That is a lot.
So I'm a little pissed.
That is usually how it goes.
And
I mean,
I think
as far as consistency goes, he's definitely been the best team, though.
Yeah, I think we should learn from Master Profits Madman because he was the guy that had like a bajillion moves.
Yeah, we should learn that next year no one fucking trade this guy any players.
Right.
Decline every trade.
Yeah. And I have got to stop cutting people after week 1, man. He had fucking Irving starting in the finals. God damn it.
And I will not trade Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, there's that too.
That would be a terrible move to do.
Important lessons. But hey, congratulations to both Master Profits Madman and KJ Sandwich for getting to the second place too.
Yeah.
That is also a feat that none of us have achieved this year.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and congrats to Apollo in the third place.
I did.
Yeah,
I
man,
did.
it's-
I won the podcast version of
He did,
the
yeah.
fantasy.
Yeah. You
Oh,
were the
nice,
podcast
yeah.
champion.
I was.
yeah. I
Yay.
didn't set my players, but
There we go, we did
congratulations.
You kept winning, even not setting your players. Which is funny.
It's
Yep.
funny.
You don't get to keep saying that like it happened to you. Like that was your choice.
Yeah.
I actually only made the playoffs because of that.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true, actually.
Yep.
that
That
was
was Josh Jacobs trade.
You just reminded me of me fucking my own season. Yeah.
That you did. Power
Power
rankings.
rankings.
Power ranking.
Playoff style.
Playoff power ranking. What does that mean? There's
I'll be
only
happy if we win a game.
no. There's probably a final 32 ranking, huh?
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah.
Top 5. Here we go.
Go, Rob.
Chiefs.
Yep.
Bills.
Yep.
Line.
Yep.
Ravens.
Yep.
And
Oh.
Eagles, right?
Eagles.
It is Eagles.
Yes, it gotta be the Eagles. Okay.
Eagles.
Cool. Thinnest dinks. We've got 4 of them.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
They've all risen 2 spots.
That's why there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Give me like the Bengals.
Nope.
Why?
I don't know.
The Broncos.
Yep. 13
Yeah.
to 11.
Maybe the Cards for
Yep.
the stomping
Oh,
on
the
San
Panthers.
Francisco.
Yep. Cardinals 19 to 17. Panthers. Nope.
What the fuck, man?
The Texans?
Nope.
The Commanders?
Nope. These teams are bad.
Oh.
Okay. Patriots.
Yep. 31 to 29.
Yeah.
One more.
Yep. Meaningless
Bad
game.
team.
The
There's so many. You got to narrow
Bears.
it down.
Nope.
Colts.
Colts 22 to 20.
There you go.
Okay.
There it is. And then the fattest doink of the week, 3 spots.
The Steelers.
It is the Steelers.
Okay.
Hey.
From 10 to 13.
Ooh.
That sounded mildly hopeful.
That's
Why does-
that's
why
Ed.
the worst.
That's Ed at home insulting the Steelers, by the way,
That
saying
is.
they're not a playoff team that's in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That is Ed saying that.
Well, there's 14 teams in the
Well,
playoffs.
yeah, there's 14.
Well, I also can't count, but who's count?
That's very true. The thinnest dink of the year. This team,
Oh.
over the course
Oh.
of the season, rose 19 spots.
Commanders?
19.
It is the Commanders.
All right. Yeah.
From 26 to 7.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
And-
most logical one.
This team, the fattest doink, fell 20
The 49ers.
spots. It's the 49ers.
Yeah,
From 2 to 22. Only one team was ranked lowest in the division the entire season. Who was that team?
Carolina?
No, it's got to be the Raiders.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Oh, it's the Giants.
It's the Giants.
Oh.
The New
I thought
York
that the
Giants.
Commanders would have been lower at the start, but
I
I'm
guess they
surprised
were
the
pretty
Raiders
close.
weren't also like who was ever ranked
I
below
guess
the,
the
Raiders?
Broncos at the
Maybe
start
at
of
the-
the year.
Maybe I don't know.
That's got to be it because, yeah, I don't. I guess nobody really thought the Broncos were going to be good because, like, rookie quarterback, they're in disarray. So that's got to be what it was. Which team spent the most weeks ranked number 1 this season?
Chiefs. Come on.
Wow, you got it. Crazy. Just ahead of the Lions, who were there
That's
7
impossible to
times
believe.
compared to the Chiefs' 8. True or false? There is a non-playoff team ranked above a playoff team.
Ooh.
It should be true.
Give me a true on that. I think Cincinnati's above 1.
Yeah, true.
False.
Well, fuck.
Oh.
It's gonna say false. Shit.
The Bengals should be ranked above the Texans and the Steelers. That doesn't make any
The
sense.
Bengals are the highest ranked non-playoff team at 15, one behind the Texans.
That almost feels like Ed is just like, I can't rank the non-playoff teams above the playoff teams because otherwise that's just wrong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it kind of does feel like that from Ed.
Ed.
Just break the norms, Ed. You control the system. You are the system.
You
Ed
are
is
in
the system.
charge, Ed. Put your foot down.
Come on, Ed.
Stick it to your boss.
Yeah.
Come on, Ed. We got to get Ed on here. We got to get Dan
time.
Hanses too. What's he up to now? Have we had a
Have
Hanses
him in a
check?
boxing ring, celebrity deathmatch style.
He showed up on Chicago Sports Radio the other week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like, we're going to be having Dan Hanzus on. I was like, I know that guy.
That's my friend.
I know him.
Really tight with Dan Hanses.
All right, this isn't even on the thing, but who is ranked last at 32nd in the NFL? Any guesses?
New York.
The Titans.
The Browns.
It is the Cleveland Browns, 32.
Fitting.
That is fitting. I would put them as worse than the Titans at this point, even though they pick second, not first.
Yep.
True.
And that is the NFL.com Power Rankings playoffs.
Power Rankings. Power Rankings.
Bonus stats. Pick'em stats.
Bonuses. You're all getting bonuses. We're handing out holiday bonuses.
Right.
Yeah. Happy holidays, everybody.
Every listener gets a bonus.
Exactly.
As long as you hit the like button.
Yeah.
Bonus may or may not be applied until 2,783.
Buddy, we're going to get a lot of calls on that day.
Yep. I had the best week, 14-3.
Yes, sir.
Yep. I don't know that.
It skyrocketed you.
Remember,
up
you
to
said you picked against us for a bunch of games for no reason.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
it kind of worked. Yeah.
It did work. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense because this week was kind of all over the place.
Chaos. Yeah.
I went 14-3, Rob 10-7, Bear 11-6, Apollo 9-8, Randy 8-9, Discord's 12-5, and Rory was 12-5.
Dude, Discord won by a half game? You're kidding.
Yep. So democracy has unfortunately prevailed.
You can put it on the Jets for winning the meaningless game.
True,
Yep. The Jets, the final fuck you on the way out.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's
Honestly,
but
I'm
hey,
surprised you didn't pick the Jets knowing that's what they were gonna do.
I really was thinking about it. But so congratulations to Discord. You've won again.
Yep.
I'm not sad about it.
I'm sad for you. I'm upset. I wanted you to get the win. You were doing so good this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what though? I'm proud of
You got the host
record.
win.
Yeah. That's got to be like one of the best.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's the best host performance all podcast history.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool, nice,
Look at that.
sick.
I love democracy. Discord wins the Pick'em's crown second year in a row, achieving a record-breaking 212, 77-1, 73.3%.
Yeah, see, there you go. So if theirs is record breaking
Coming in.
and yours is a half game behind, that means
Yeah.
you guys are the new 1 and 2 respectively.
Yeah.
Best predicted team, Chiefs 17-0. Who could have guessed that one? And worst predicted, Falcons at 9-8.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
Democracy failed the Falcons. Sorry.
Master locks. Rob ends the season on a 15-game lock winning streak, the longest ever. His 16-2 lock record ties Invicta and Discord for the best single season of locks.
Nice.
Wow. Look at that.
You're picking up some dubs at the end of the season here, man. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Home on the range. Krendor was better at predicting the Cowboys in their home games this season. Home games 8-1, away games 3-5. I think that's because I just said they would lose every time they played at home. Staying buried.
Yeah.
Bear has now gone 52 consecutive games picking against the Browns. Despite this, they are only his fifth least picked team of all time.
What?
That's pretty wild.
The last part.
His Browns record has improved from 47% to 58% since he stopped picking them. That is pretty good.
This whole panel is art, man. This is fantastic.
Well,
There's a bunch of hints, aren't there?
Well, he's
like,
got little
Buccaneers,
Bucks?
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Raiders? I mean, it could be
Raiders,
Raiders.
yeah.
Is there a very small wicker man in the far right corner there? Is that what I'm
I
seeing?
think that's a beanstalk for the Giants.
Oh yeah, the Giants beanstalk.
God, it's so small.
Wow,
And
I
then-
thought that was a smudge on my screen.
And that's the Bears, I think. The skull is a bear skull.
Yeah,
or
'cause I think
Or it's a
Jacksonville
Jaguar skull or something.
Bears?
It's a bear tech. It's gotta be Bears. Or maybe
I
Panthers.
might pick the Bears this year
Maybe it's a Panther.
It
I
kind
don't
of
know.
looks like a Jaguar skull.
because he's done the skull
Wait, maybe
thing
not.
before too.
Yeah, bear skull. I'm gonna look at the skull. Okay, it does look kind of bear scully. That's pretty bear scully.
All right.
And then
Hold
the
on.
Oh
Browns.
yeah, it kind of does.
Panther
Yeah.
skull.
So
Well,
where's
it's
the
gonna
fifth
give me
one though?
Oh,
'Cause that's
it's-
four.
His fifth least all time, right? Yeah. So, well, no, that would be it then, because there's 4 ahead of him.
Well, no,
Wait a
because
second.
the that's Elfie, or that's what's his name? The Browns elf is
Oh,
the foot
right.
sticking
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah. Okay. So there's one that's is it like the
Um,
drink or something, or oh,
Maybe
man.
it's the
this
umbrella
is an
colors.
insane level
Oh.
of detail for the show, man. This is so good.
It could be
This
the
is
umbrella
incredible.
colors.
But those are the Chiefs colors. There's no way the Chiefs are your least picked
Yeah,
team.
no, I definitely picked the Chiefs at some point.
But how?
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say, how do you have multiple teams that are more than 52 consecutive games against?
No,
No, this
it's-
is the
those are
all-time amount. This is
all-time
Oh,
least
it's the
consecutive.
umbrella.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the umbrella Washington.
Oh, it could
Oh,
be.
Could be
Could be.
Washington.
No.
I
Could
think
be
that's it,
Washington.
dude.
I don't think that's the right colors.
It isn't.
It's pretty
the
close.
burgundy.
It's
like
close.
burgundy and gold is.
It's
The,
in the
I
ballpark.
think it's close enough. That would be my guess.
That would make sense to me.
that'd be
Yeah.
good. that'd be
All right,
good.
sorry, I didn't mean to steal the spotlight for so long.
Wait,
This
did
is
we,
just a
did we
very
decide
good
on the foot?
banner.
Do we know what the foot is?
That's
The
the Browns.
Foot, that's
Oh yeah, no, that's the Elfie. That is what Apollo
Is
said.
it?
The-
Wait, is it?
Oh,
Let me
okay.
make sure. Browns elf logo.
Does he have duck feet?
It is.
Yeah,
It's
that's
definitely
okay.
Elfie.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
Or
And he's
Breno.
dead.
Sorry, Brownie is his name. Jesus.
Oh,
Brownie,
yeah.
right? Yeah,
Wait, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Is there a shadow of a jet in that saying?
Oh, you're
What?
right.
Where?
Fuck,
You're right. The-
Oh my god.
right.
It's
Oh,
so
the
good.
genius.
Because I looked, I was like, is that a
Fucking
fish? And I was
genius.
like, well, hold
Oh,
on.
man.
It's a jet. Oh my god.
These are in. If you're ever wondering what the hell we're looking at, by the way, he posts all these in the Discord along with
Yeah,
the
they're
pick'em stats
incredible.
every week, and they're wonderful. So yeah,
You should really put
another
them up
huge
on
shout out.
screen, Krendor, by the way.
I really
It's,
should.
Yeah.
It's too late now. We're in playoffs.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it. Yeah.
Something's got to give. Heading into the postseason, Apollo is a perfect 9-0 all-time predicting playoff games between divisional opponents. In his career, he's 2-8 predicting Steelers-Ravens games.
Well, again,
There we
I
are.
mentioned it before. I think a lot of emotion goes into those usually.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
because I pretty much always pick the Ravens.
That's
Right,
also
yeah.
true.
But I'll be real with you guys. Probably gonna go 10-0 on this one. It's gonna be real with you.
Yep. And then we have all of our super bonus stats for
Mhm.
what the playoffs would look like based on everyone's picks.
Yep.
Yep.
So we have
See, how
Rob.
close was I?
Rob has Chiefs and Lions as the 1 seed.
you
Bengals
go.
at Ravens. The Steelers
Okay.
at Bills. Chargers at Texans. That's pretty good.
That's pretty close, actually.
Pretty damn close, yeah.
And then Commanders at Eagles. Packers at Bucks. Vikings at 49ers. So 49ers, the only team there.
Yeah, is the only one I
Yeah,
got
well,
wrong?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, wow.
Uh,
Nice.
Yeah, look at that. Now Bear has the Bills Vikings 1 seeds. Chiefs at Ravens, Steelers at Texans, Bengals at Chargers.
I've got the Chiefs at the 7. Oh my god.
Yeah, Chiefs at the 7. Which, to be fair, they probably are more deserving of being around
Yeah,
there.
actually, that should be their record.
Yeah.
So now it seems less crazy
Um,
now.
Then we had Falcons at Bucks, Eagles at Commanders, and Lions at Rams.
Yeah, not bad.
Yep.
Not bad.
Yep. Yep,
Apollo
solid.
has the Ravens Lions 1 seeds. Dolphins at Bills, Jets at Chargers, and Bengals at Texans.
Jets and
Apollo famously
Chargers.
with the Ravens completely absent from his playoff picks.
Yeah.
And then
Almost got the
Rams.
NFC right.
Yeah, Rams at Commanders, Vikings at Falcons, and the Eagles at 49ers. So,
And then
Krendor's.
Krendor's isn't that bad actually.
Yeah, it's not as crazy as it
Bengals,
usually is.
Packers, 1 seed. Packers 17-0, of course.
Yeah, that,
Of course,
You
yeah.
literally pick the Packers every week.
There actually might have been a week where I picked them to lose, though. I think. Maybe I'm
no.
You calling Pixel a liar?
This literally says you picked them every week.
Oh, does it? All right, never mind. I think I'm just dumb.
It's nothing against you. It's just like statistically speaking, I would trust Pixel over you 1,000 out of 1,000.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
No, I would as well. Steelers Jets. That would have been an ultimate wild card playoff game.
Oh, that would have been a great game.
Yep.
Oh boy, yeah, that would have been 2009, 2010, all
yeah,
over
about
again.
that.
2010,
Yep. Great year. Love that year.
Yeah, vintage.
Yep. Chargers at Texans and Bills at Chiefs.
Getting that out of the way early.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
And I would add 49ers at Commanders, Bucks at Falcons, and Lions at Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. And of course, we can't forget Discord and Randy. Discord would add Bills, Lions as the 1 seeds, then Steelers at Chiefs, Chargers at Ravens, Bengals at Texans, and Eagles at Bucks, Packers at Commanders, and Vikings at Rams.
Their NFC one is almost exactly correct.
It almost is.
There's a one.
That is impressive.
It's the
Eagles,
and the
Commanders
are in the wrong spot. Yeah.
Flip flop.
You know, Discord, I also want to say, I feel as though our rivalry this season has made us both better. We're both better pickers.
Yeah.
Want to point that out.
Look at that. Then
I like this next one.
Randy's
good.
Dude, Randy's playoffs.
It's amazing.
We have the
This is what I want to watch.
Yeah.
Jets, Bears, 1 seeds. Then we got Raiders at Bengals. Browns,
boy.
Browns at Chargers, and Steelers at Texans.
I love that. That's almost a real.
This is the playoffs I want to watch.
No
Chiefs, no Ravens. Like
It'd be so horrible. These
This is
games would be
awesome.
so bad.
Raiders at Bengals. Dude, that'd be such a fucking slaughter. Holy
That
shit.
would. Then we'd have Seahawks at Rams, Saints at Buccaneers, and
we
Falcons.
just watched that.
We did.
Yeah.
Both of them, actually, although the Rams didn't play their starters. And then Falcons at Cowboys.
Oh boy.
Caleb Williams leading the number 1 seed Bears in the NFC, baby.
That's what the Bears thought it was at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Randy, he almost got to 50%. He
was
almost got
close.
back. Yeah.
He was close. I mean, he had a as Randy a week as he could have, right? At 8 and 9.
Yeah. So then we also have our look back, the vision predictions from the preseason.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Okay. So because we never track it, Pixel decided to track it this time. Well,
Yeah,
thank you again.
Every year, dude.
Yeah, he did this last year.
Yeah.
Oh, did you do it last year? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
same
thank you
format
again.
and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had the Bengals, Bengals, Chiefs, Dolphins, Texans, and then the Packers, 49ers, Eagles, Falcons. So that was bad.
Yeah.
Rob had the Ravens, Chiefs, Patriots, Texans.
Hey, brother. How did that happen?
I don't know, actually.
How did
remember.
none of us pick the Bills to win the division, dude?
I
That's
remember.
crazy.
Rob picked that because he said that would be his most cursed situation.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, that makes
Sure.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, at least that didn't come to pass. So,
Yeah.
silver lining.
Then the Lions, 49ers, Eagles, Bucks. So really just the Patriots and 49ers got wrong.
Okay.
Bear
Not
had
bad.
Ravens, Chiefs, Dolphins, Texans, and Lions, Seahawks, Eagles, Bucks.
But he also perfectly predicted the Ravens division
Oh, just you wait, brother.
Yeah.
and the
And the AFC South.
AFC South. Yeah.
Apollo, Ravens, Chiefs, Jets, Texans, Lions, 49ers, Cowboys,
almost got the
Falcons.
entire
I
NFC.
almost
flipped
got
the
the
Bills and Jets.
entire AFC correct. If I had just not believed in the fucking Jets, man.
Yeah, you would have got it perfectly right. That's insane. The entire conference.
You put the Dolphins above the Bills too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
And then I got the entire NFC.
yeah.
I
At
mean,
first,
who
you
the
didn't
hell could have
believe in
seen this NFC?
The NFC East, no one can win it 2 times in a row. Dark magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I think a lot of us believe in the Falcons a little too much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
I still
They
don't get it.
almost won. They were
yeah,
one
they
game off.
almost.
True. Yeah.
And then the 49ers just injured and collapsed.
Yeah.
No one picking the Rams is definitely interesting.
That is pretty.
I mean, it was the Niners with fucking Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
You know, like coming
They
over
I had
the
the
Super
Rams
Bowl.
going last.
They looked really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you put the Rams at last one.
Yeah.
Discord had Ravens, Chiefs, Dolphins, Texans, Lions, 49ers, Eagles, Falcons, and they got the AFC South and West correct. And Randy perfected 0 divisions, and he picked Bengals, Chiefs, Bills, Jaguars, Bears, Cardinals, Eagles, Panthers.
Randy, the only person / participant to guess the Bills as the division winners for the
Which
AFC.
he really, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And he, to be fair, he only got 2 less correct than me. So, I mean, yeah. Then we have our win rates compared to various big sports agencies and such, like ESPN.
And personalities.
And
other
personalities.
pundits, our competitors.
Yep. Matt
As it were.
Bowen had the best record from ESPN at 73.5%.
Yeah.
That's
very
pretty
good.
high.
Yeah, that's
That is
crazy.
quite high. Yeah.
Then we had Discord at 72. We had Tom Blair from NFL Network at 72. Matt.
Can I be honest?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to skip ahead, but who the fuck is Will Brinson, and maybe why does he have a job predicting football games?
Yeah.
That is a statistically nightmarishly bad record.
Yeah, that is
that's a good
down at the
question.
bottom.
Like Krendor trolls with half of his picks.
I do
and
troll
he's
with
better than Will Brinson.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually. What's happening there?
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck you, Connor Orr and Will Brinson.
Yeah.
Finish below me, dumbasses.
I
Well,
mentioned
that's the thing.
you
Connor
guys
Orr
too.
is a little below you, but Will Brinson is significantly below you. Like, it's,
Yeah, that's
it's
pretty
crazy
bad.
how low his record is.
I'm gonna look
I
this
said
guy
this
up.
to you
We should-
guys too, but I love that every year our statistical differences between us and ESPN are like basically negligible. Like we have about as good of a chance as any of them getting it right.
I do find it really funny because it over the course of the podcast, it does seem like anybody can predict the NFL at about 60% win rate on average.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
I
which
mean,
is a
honestly,
really
you could say 65. Really?
Yeah,
probably yeah.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised. So it is kind of funny seeing these guys because like we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, but all of these guys, probably half this list played in the NFL. You
That's
know?
true.
Yeah.
A lot of them probably did.
I think that also just speaks to the extreme variance of the league.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
even Randy gets like close to 50%.
Yeah, dude, Will Brinson
Right.
was fairly close to Randy's
He was
performance.
barely above Randy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm like Apollo said, I'm just half the time I'm like, this feels like an upset. Screw it. I like if I was actually betting money, I would not do that.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Don't do that though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do it.
don't bet money.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous habit.
Yeah. And then
But I'm in top 5, so
yeah,
get fucked,
Rob's-
idiots.
Yeah, Rob's top 5. Then we had the regular season pick'em stat extravaganza, which
yeah,
there's
I was looking at this.
There's
Yeah.
a lot
there's
there
a
if you
lot
want
of
to
stats here. You
digest
could
that.
go
There is
check
a
that out.
shitload. I apparently picked the Chiefs a lot, it turns out.
Yeah.
And I picked
Yes.
the Browns 0 times.
Upsets predicted is a great stat.
It is. I
have more career upsets picked than Rob, and I've been on the podcast like 3 less seasons than
Yeah.
Rob has.
yeah.
And at the same time, I have about 200 more upsets than Apollo.
Yeah, that didn't surprise me at all to see.
Yeah.
like Will in the
That
lead
makes
for
a lot
that
of
one.
sense.
Yep. Yeah, man, there's a lot of stats here. See, it's over on
You
Blue
have
Sky
more
or
upsets
Discord.
picked than Randy.
I do have more upsets than Randy. That's pretty crazy.
And he tried to catch up this year. He had
He
116
statistically
this year.
picks an upset half of the time.
I love a good upset.
That's
What can I say?
really funny. That's incredible.
Oh man.
So there's your bonus stats.
Isn't there more stuff?
There's also career win percentage progression.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see, I mean, Randy's he's hovering around 50 after starting out terribly and then rising substantially and then balancing out.
A golden opportunity to remind folks too that over on the Patreon, if you're a Patreon supporter, you already have access to the Pick'em Cyclopedia, which has this and even more. There's like every stat you could possibly conceive of about our Pick'ems for the show is in that giant Google Doc. So feel free to
genuinely
go
incredible.
It's amazing. Yeah,
it's all formatted. It's got like I think it's got art in it too.
Sheets work that I've ever seen in my life, and it's for our silly show. It's insane.
I don't genuinely know what Pixelhaven does for a job or where they work, but they gotta, if they're not like the most well-respected employee in their entire corporate industry, then there's a huge problem.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of others that we should also point out. The winner in the Discord too.
Yes.
Of the there's a bunch of info down here too about them.
Yeah, hit it.
Well, then, our number one. Hold on, let me scroll up.
All right, I got it for you. Our Pick'em's God this year, best season, was Danny Boy, who went 197 and 75 for a season record of 72%, which is insane. That
72.4.
That's just under Discord's group performance for the year. So that's very well done.
That ties for 4th and 5th on that ranking list that we have of the of the people above me. Above me, Danny.
Oh yeah, exactly. So well done, Danny. Mm-hmm. We have best month winners, so congrats to those folks. There's like a whole mess of Discord awards. So you might have even gotten one. So you might want to check the Discord for that too.
Yes. A lot of stats.
There's a bunch of cool
stuff. It's time to playoff Pick'em.
Woo!
Playoffs. Here we go.
Oh, we got our AC for this week as well. We've got our first playoffs assistant coach.
Did you send me that? Because I did not see it.
That's right. I didn't send it to you. That's why you don't have it. Hold on. I've got it here.
Makes sense.
I do want to reiterate, you really should check the Discord. There's a bunch of stats that we're like glazing over here.
No, there's like a lot of Discord specific ones too.
Yeah,
like, again, if you think you have a good understanding of how many stats there are, you're wrong.
You are wrong. Yeah, it's very cool.
Alpha something is the assistant coach of the week.
Yes,
and their top predicted playoff teams are the Vikings, 14-3 playoffs. Bills 11-6, Broncos 11-6.
There we go. All right, playoff Pick'ems.
Here we go. Let's go. Chargers, Texans.
I'm gonna go Chargers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers.
I got no faith in
Chargers. And
that is also Alpha going Chargers. That's a Chargers sweep to start the playoffs.
And also important to note on this, as we're going into the playoffs, it's okay for us to pick the same locks now.
Oh yeah,
it is. Yeah, because
and also sometimes we do some funny stuff.
Yeah.
The statistics that's true. Point, don't worry about them.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Steelers, Ravens.
I'm gonna lock the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair.
I'll be taking the Ravens. Yeah.
You're thinking about it?
Dude, it's a divisional game, and the Ravens. If any team in the league, has the way to beat the Ravens, the Steelers would be, up there.
Look, I agree with you, but like, here's the thing: like, I don't deserve that much happiness in my life, so it's not gonna happen.
You gotta be nicer to yourself on this show, man. That's my friend you're talking about. He deserves good things.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's gonna take the Ravens then.
I think I screeched so loudly that Discord ate the audio. I was yelling no at such a ridiculous volume that I don't think Discord allowed it.
That's probably a good thing then, honestly.
Probably, we can imagine.
Well, I have a compressor, so it wouldn't have killed you.
Okay, yeah.
Broncos.
I gotta go Ravens, dude.
Yeah, Broncos, Bills.
Yeah,
Bills.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck about the AFC. Right? Yeah, that's that. AFC sucks. NFC doesn't.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. There's a weird part of me that thinks the Broncos are going to be competitive this game.
I think they will be. I just think the Bills are going to win.
I never have faith in rookie play. Like, I think the pressure is too high for rookies in the playoffs.
I still think the Bills are going to win, though. But
Alpha something's also going Bills. They have an 11-6 record picking both of these teams, so there's not a lot of credence there.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so out of the AFC, I honestly think the only upset that's likely is the Steelers.
I think the Texans could do it.
I don't know.
I know that we all think the
upset?
Texans are horrible, but
I could see
the
them
Texans
winning,
could ran. Like the Chargers are not that good.
I completely
agree with that. I agree with that, but I also just don't think that it would be that much of an upset.
But it is an upset.
Yeah,
I think
mean,
they're pretty
I
even.
guarantee you the Chargers are the money line. Like I guarantee you, like
Probably.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
enough of an
Zero
upset
faith in
that
either of
we
these teams.
literally all picked the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chargers against any other AFC team, though, I probably pick the other AFC team,
Oh, yeah,
including the
probably.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Mm.
Packers Eagles. I'll be locking the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh boy,
This is kind of a Sinvicta play here. He did that
Yeah.
as well.
dude,
Well, and also Apollo a couple of games
Yeah,
ago.
give me the Packers.
Oh, I was gonna do it. Damn it.
I did it. I did it. I think
did
the
it.
Eagles. I'm gonna be honest. I think that there's some ingredients here for an upset. I think this is the one. This is the mark of this one on your calendar.
There has
I
to
do
be one.
agree. I do think the Packers could be their one big upset game.
I
However,
really hope it's not like that one year where every single home team won.
yeah.
It kind of looks like it a little
Huh?
bit.
It's starting to look a lot like it.
Well, not the Rams.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will go Eagles. Yeah.
I will take the Eagles.
All right.
But I don't know.
AC also win Eagles.
Yep. Commanders Buccaneers.
Bucks.
This is probably going to be the best game, I think.
Yeah,
I think this is
I
the most
agree.
evenly matched, and I think it's the most fun. Like, I hate
Yeah.
that these teams are playing each other. I want to see both of these teams go on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They are probably the most evenly matched in the NFC, though.
they are. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna
It'll
go
be good.
Buccaneers.
I'm going to go Bucks as well. It's
yeah,
the
well,
rookie
I can't
quarterback
pick against
thing.
Yeah.
Baker, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
actually
but-
Baker's just on fire. He's been on fire the past
Yeah,
couple
for like a
weeks,
couple
too.
months, man. He's been
Yeah.
hot. Alpha locked the Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's
I
kinda
was thinking
crazy.
about doing it because
Yeah.
that's the most bold lock, I think, out of
Yeah.
these. Unless you're picking an upset.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Vikings Rams.
Viking.
Yeah, give me Minnesota.
I'm going to take the Rams.
Oh.
Okay.
We're talking about a cursed franchise here, guys. Like,
Yes.
this is
They
the
are
outcome that would
cursed.
make the most sense.
No,
They
well,
also
so
looked kind of stinky at the end of the season.
they're also like one of the winningest franchises. So they're cursed, but it doesn't mean that they don't win playoff games. They win though. Remember the Minnesota Miracle a couple of years ago?
It's true.
I
Then they got
remember
blown out by the
Minnesota.
Eagles.
I remember Minnesota losing to the Giants.
They got Minnesota
Yeah.
mauled.
Yeah.
I actually think the Vikings are gonna win this one. I am gonna go Vikings.
I also think the Vikings are going to win. Alpha also win Vikings, and they're 14-3 for predicting. that.
I'm either gonna fucking smoke this or be fucked.
Yeah.
I still
You,
need
you
to
guys
lock
picked
something.
every home team. So
I
you are
am-
cursing us.
No,
You're
I
the
picked the
ones that are the
Chargers.
I
problem.
picked the Vikings. I picked the
Pick the
Vikings. What do you
Chargers.
mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
pick
meant
the
like team
Vikings.
that's
What are you
most
talking
likely to
about?
win. I meant no upsets. Sorry.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
not
well,
what home means.
But like this is one of the weird situations where the home team is not the favorite because the seeding system is weird in the NFL. Okay, give me some flack.
Well, you know what? I'm going to lock the Bills. How about that? That doesn't mean
Whoa.
anything as far as what you're
Whoa.
talking about, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna lock the Bucks.
Whoa. To be fair, I
Yeah.
would pick the Packers if I wasn't doing this cursed weird lock thing.
Yeah.
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 We're trying
on
to
that.
invoke football gods here, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saving
And
that
they-
for next week. Football gods. I'm not using that this week. I care a lot more about it next week.
Yep.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know
did
what's
you
gonna
look
happen.
Up or down when you were talking
Up.
to them?
Straight up to God himself on his salty
I
throne.
was switching between. There's no point in making enemies now, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. You got to play both sides.
Right, yeah. So you always
The
come out on
Devil's
top.
way too cool to give a shit about football.
But I mean, he might make the Jets good in exchange for like taking my dick or something.
Maybe.
That would not be a bad trade.
Folks,
He's probably taking a lot of
That's
dicks.
gonna do
I mean,
it
I don't
for
know. I
this
don't really
week
game.
in football. Thanks for listening, watching, whatever you're doing.
Randy, we need Randy. Come on.
Randy!
What do you
Oh,
thinking?
sorry, you
How
were just
dare you?
Jesus Christ.
It's because your
And,
cursed
what's
ass
the matter with
conversation
you?
threw me off.
Oh my God.
Um,
So
Devil's
loud,
gonna take your
Discord's gonna pick
dick.
it up.
Randy has picked the Chargers. Randy
Yeah.
has picked the Ravens.
Oh.
Okay.
Randy's picked the Bills.
Randy.
Randy's
Okay.
picked the Eagles.
Whoa.
Yeah, okay.
Randy's going Commanders.
Okay.
And Randy's going Rams.
Dude.
Wow.
Okay.
Randy
Randy.
has locked.
He's going 6-0, man.
Yeah, he might.
Randy has locked the Baltimore Ravens.
That's good luck.
Welcome, Randy.
Or is it bad luck?
I hope it's
remember.
bad luck.
I don't remember. Actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that'll do it. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you,
patrons,
commentators.
Thank you, patrons, playoffs, and
commenters,
playoffs.
playoffs,
And we will see you next week for more playoffs. Goodbye.
Bye.